Hello, welcome to Westfield Church, to Messy Church. Bit of a strange way to have Messy Church, isn't it? And I'm afraid we won't be able to do the activities. There were lots of things we were going to do. We were going to make baskets, chocolate baskets with Easter eggs in. We were going to make banners. We were going to make table mats, all sorts of things. One of the things we were going to do that you could do at home was we were going to make Easter cards. I've made some this morning because I can't get out to get any. So I've made some for adults and some for children. I've got to write in them yet. I'm going to send those to my grandchildren because I can't go and see them. And those to my friends at church. You could do that at home. You can get the pictures off the internet and then just use paper. If you've got card, that would be even better. But you could use paper. Don't make them too big and then they won't flop all about. And then I was going to tell you the rest of the story. Do you remember yesterday, if you watched Good Friday Workshop, the video, we left Jesus in the tomb, didn't we? Wrapped in the grave cloths. Well, that was on the Friday. On the Saturday, people couldn't do anything. It was their Sabbath. So they were very restricted in what they could do. They had to stay at home. But when Sunday came, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb. And when she got there, she was shocked. And I can show you why she was shocked. Because when she got to the tomb, it was empty. You see that big hole? It was empty. Terry made those for me. I don't know how he got the hole in. There we have an empty tomb. She was so upset. She thought that somebody had stolen Jesus' body. But as she turned from the tomb, in front of her she saw a man. And he asked her why she was crying. Thinking that he was the gardener, she said, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you've put him. I will get him." Jesus said to her, because it was Jesus, he said to her, "Mary." And she turned towards him and she cried out, "Teacher." Jesus had risen from the dead. Here was the evidence. Jesus was actually alive. He hadn't been carried away. His body hadn't been hidden. He was standing right in front of her. And when he spoke, Mary, Mary recognized his voice. She was so happy. Jesus told her to go and tell the disciples that he was alive. So she did, as she was told. She went and found the disciples, and she told them that she'd seen Jesus and that he was risen from the dead. But did the disciples really believe that Jesus was alive? Later, they were in a locked room together. They were in a locked room because they were frightened. They were frightened that what happened to Jesus might happen to them. Suddenly, Jesus appeared in the room and said, "Shalom," which means hello. Wasn't Jesus supposed to be dead? The disciples wondered, was it really him? How would they know? Mary recognized Jesus by his voice. But this wasn't the way they would tell. Jesus showed them his hands. They showed them his hands and what was on them. They would have the nail marks in them. One of the disciples was missing that day, Thomas. He wasn't there. When he turned up, Jesus had gone already. And the 10 disciples said to him, "We've seen Jesus, we've seen Jesus." Thomas didn't believe them. "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands and put my finger where the nails were and put my hand into his side, I will not believe. Jesus appeared to them a week later. Thomas saw Jesus and he believed. He believed that Jesus really did rise from the dead and that he was God's son. Because the disciples and some other people were eyewitnesses who saw Jesus alive, we can be sure that Jesus is alive too. I wonder what the disciples were going to do with this news that Jesus was alive. Can you see my Barney? He's just had a little look. He's going to lie down and be quiet now. When we come to Pentecost, we'll find out what happened, what the disciples did. Happy Easter. Have a lovely day, even though you can't see all your friends and relations. God bless.